So let me know whenever we're live.
I think we are live. Adit,
Oh,
Kundra,
we
how are
are.
you doing, man?
I'm doing good, buddy. How are you?
Thank you so much for coming, and this is very exciting for me and for the
Thanks.
whole community which follows you and
Thanks a
people.
lot for having me here, buddy. I'm really excited about this as well, yeah.
So, I wanted to discuss a lot of online education today, and also wanted to ask you what made you start Adit's guitar lessons at the first place.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so online education. So I'll come to online education later, but wait, I can hear you now. There's a little bit of a lag.
Is it?
Yeah. 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 I can hear myself now.
1 second.
Wait, why is it like that?
Guys, just hold on. There's some tech issue. Are you only on one chat?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Just this one.
Is somebody else watching the thing in your house?
I don't know. Yasha, are you watching? Yasha, can you just close that, please?
If the speaker is on, then you'll hear things later.
Yeah. Okay. So my wife is actually, she was logged in as well. Okay.
Things are
We're
all
good to
right
go.
now?
Yeah. Yeah. Much
Okay,
better.
back to the question. What made you start teaching online and what made you start
Yeah.
Adit's guitar lessons?
So Adit's guitar lessons obviously happened a lot later. I think it was in July 2016. But I actually started teaching way back in 2001. So, I started playing I started learning how to play the guitar on June 2000.
Hmm.
And right after that, I was kind of interested in music. And I don't remember the first guy I ever taught, but I still remember, uh, that aha thing is something which really it's like a huge turn on for me. Yeah. So when you're teaching something, and the person is like, "Oh, aisa hota hai, that's the way it is," So that's something which I really like about the process of teaching. So I was so much into this sort of that I remember that I used to be in the market and मेरे को कोई भी गिटार वाला दिख जाता था
Oh,
who's carrying a guitar. I would just stop that guy and have a little chat with them, and in case possible, tell him some concepts and learn something from them as well. So I think the I believe there's something that you can always learn from anybody here, even if it's a beginner. So I was just really drawn to this whole process of teaching and learning from them as well, and figuring out the right way to teach. So that's actually how the teaching thing happened. But I was always doing it on a very informal kind of a setting. So I
right.
started giving lessons as well, but it was on and off. कभी कभी कर लिया, कभी नहीं किया. I was doing my college. I was in college, and I was थोड़ा बहुत lessons करते था. And then I started working as well, and work के साथ भी I was giving lessons.
So, what was
But
your job profile? What were you doing exactly?
so I did my engineering just like
Everybody
a
else?
lot of just like everybody. Are you an engineer as well?
No, I'm not, man. But
So you got it.
it seems if I keep doing what I'm doing, like I'm involving myself with softwares and this and that so much, then I'm
Hmm.
feeling a lot of inclination towards trying to learn how softwares are built, how coding happens. So
Right, right.
might informally do some of that just for my curiosity, but doesn't look like I can get that label on my head because it's a huge responsibility. Anyways, you were
So
saying.
but wait a sec. Did you get into music right after school, or how was it with you?
For me, it was a decision mostly after school that I want to do this for the rest of my life. I wasn't clear
Hmm.
what I want to do because first I started getting inclined towards, even during my school days actually, I was inclined towards
Yeah.
a lot of metal and death metal, which I
Right.
spent some time playing
Yeah.
about 6 8 months. And
Hmm.
then later I completely switched to Indian classical music. So I started singing Indian classical music completely. And then post that, when I did my graduation in Hindustani classical vocal, I
Hmm.
finished that. Then I did music production, and while I was doing music production, I started playing bass again, I should say, or I started playing, I should
Very
say. So
very cool. Yeah.
that's how it happened for me, that I I experimented a lot with different things,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's when I came to a conclusion of, okay, let's do this for life. That's what it
So
was for me. Yeah.
I'll tell you why I asked you this thing, whether you did music right after school or not, because you're the one who actually had the guts and the courage to follow your passion. I, on the other hand, did not have the balls, so to speak, because I was really into music. And so like I shared with you, I started getting into music, as in the guitar and all when I was in college. I was doing my graduation, and right after graduation, of course, I had the option to get into music full time as well.
Right.
I mean, I could have taken that decision, but I just like तो होता है ना कि there is a lot of pressure because you see your friends who are actually getting placed in good companies and you know that they'll be earning.
Right.
So there was one factor which मेरे को लगा कि यार मेरे को भी I also should get a job. And of course there's a little bit of pressure that we take on ourselves कि यार family है, even though I'm from like a middle class family, it's ऐसा नहीं है कि ज़रूरत है कुछ ज़्यादा, but फिर भी you just take this pressure on yourself that I have to help support my family, and I just didn't have the courage, man, so to speak. I knew some people. I know that we might be just digressing a little bit, but you know the band, right? Local
Train.
band,
Local Train.
Local Train. Local Train has Sahil Sareen and Ramit.
Yep.
Ramit, yeah. So
Right.
I had a band in college, and it was a three-piece band, and I used to sing and play the guitar. And these guys had a band as well.
Yeah.
It was not the Local Train, but a different band. But we were very close. We were like each other's groupies. Hum the, because anyways, the rock scene in Chandigarh was very underground, and very few bands and very few people used to turn out. So there was this competition in Thapar. I still remember, and my band was, I don't know, busy with something. So those guys were not.
Thapar is the university.
Thapar is the college, is the engineering college. Yeah. So there was a contest, and so they have something which is very similar to IIT Delhi and all, Blitzkrieg and all. So they had this contest, and मैंने बोला कि चलो let's participate, yeah. But my bandmates were not available.
Right.
And Ramit tha and Sahil was also there, and we decided चलो हम तीनों we'll just make a band, and we'll just practice for a couple of days, and we'll just hit the competition. So I think just 2 or 3 days before the competition is when we decided to just get together and start jamming and all.
Right.
And so we went for the competition, and we I think we came second. I don't remember. I think we came second. But the interesting thing is that जिस दिन competition था ना, so we went in the morning and we came back in the evening. The day after that, Sahil Sareen का 8th का board exam था. He had a Hindi का board exam. 8th नहीं, sorry, 10th का, I don't know.
Oh, he's been playing
he
for
had
a
board
while.
exam.
He's been playing for a while.
Yeah, he's been playing for a long time. तो बच्चा था यार जब वो, I remember that. So, but the interesting thing is that he had a board exam the next day. And he went for this competition with us in the morning, came back at night, and I was like, यार इसके घर वालों ने इसको allow कैसे कर दिया यार board exam से पहले, so I'm not saying that of course his parents were pretty chilled out as well, but he had this, he knew this कि मेरे को यार music में ही करना है, and maybe he was able to convince his folks as well कि अपने को music में ही जाने का है. So
right.
I didn't really have that conviction. So I knew that I was a half decent guitar player, but I was not too sure if I'll be able to get into music, and because I didn't know anything. YouTube उस time होता नहीं था. I'm talking 2004. So I didn't know कि मैं अगर music में जाऊँगा भी तो करूँगा क्या. So I just decided to take the conventional path, which is work. So your question was what's my profile? So I did my engineering.
Right.
Then I worked in Bombay for 2 years in sales. I worked with Voltas and manufacturers air conditioners. So I did that for 2 years.
As an engineer, when you're working in sales, what kind of things are you like? Because I would assume that you did mechanical engineering or telecom?
Yes, mechanical engineering. Yeah.
So as being in sales, are you trying to give technical details to your buyers, the B2B buyers, or what is it?
Okay, so a good question. So actually you're supposed to, yeah, because see, my profile was not really a technical profile. So what happens is when these companies come to recruit, half of them know that these guys, half of them are into engineering just because they've been forced into this field by their parents. Okay? So मैंने अपना engineering करा था, मेरे को अपना scooter खोलना नहीं आता था, mechanical engineering करने के बाद 4 साल के बाद भी. So I was anyways in a sales profile. Now sales में भी क्या होता है? There is retail sales and there's key accounts. So retail sales is your you actually visit stores and all, and key accounts में it's business B2B.
So the engineer goes to, let's say, the Chroma distribution center or some center like that and tells them about the product. Yes, the engineer is doing the retail sale as well. Of course, it's a bulk sale.
Yeah. So understand this. Yeah, when you get placed, when you get hired with a company, forget the engineering background. You're starting afresh. So there is no technical details being discussed. Of course, when you're selling something, you should know your product as well, right? So you should know what compressor kya hota hai, how it works, but there's a technical team for that. My job was not to do that. My job was to, so I was in key accounts. So I had to go to clients. I had to do some cold calling. I had to, for example, let's say ICICI is opening up an ATM. So they're opening
Right.
up an ATM, and in the ATM they'll be needing a split air conditioner. So I'll be going to the purchase department, and I'll be telling them, listen, we've got a split air conditioner, and these are the features. I'll have a pamphlet. I'll do like a presentation, and this is so we can work out a correct rate for you. So that's what my job was. So 50% of my job was to get new leads, and 50% was to get the money as well.
But when they're using engineers, qualified engineers for lead generation, is it a
Yeah.
wise decision on the company's part?
As
Or is
compared
it
to what?
is it the way that it all begins? Because I would assume that if somebody is a mechanical engineer, he's helping in design building, he's helping in creating new products, he's helping in all these things, and of course the sales is handled by some other person who specializes in negotiating and all that.
Yeah, but I totally get it. But also understand the context here. So we're talking about a place like India.
Hmm.
Once again, a lot of engineers, I can guarantee more than 99%, 99% at least, 99% of those engineers are not in engineering because they want to get into that.
Yeah.
They're just there because it's a safe choice,
Right.
right? 4 years secure, 4 years घर में कोई पूछेगा नहीं कि क्या करना है लाइफ में, तो 4 साल सेट हो गए, 4 साल इंजीनियरिंग कर लो. So
हमारा बेटा इंजीनियर है.
engineer hai, correct, that's right. So I and also when you start off,
हाँ.
you have to start off from somewhere, right? So when even if you get into sales, you will start off with a stage wherein you don't have any experience.
Hmm.
So I'm not saying that I was the best sales guy. I learned, of course, I had my training, and then they gave me the right kind of sales training and how to engage with customers, and so there were those band zero skills. But yeah, that's how it is, and that's how it is with even the current situation. Yeah, all these engineers are getting hired by companies, and they don't really work in an environment which is something that related to their
But did you
education.
imagine that this is what you'll be served the moment you, or rather, you would be serving the moment you join a job as an engineer? That
So
you'll
I
be.
signed up for I signed up for sales profile, no. So I knew that at
Okay.
the time of application. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that you could
No.
just be
So
a sales.
how it works is that all these companies come to your campus,
Huh.
and they give you like a pre-placement talk.
Hmm.
Yeah. And in that pre-placement talk, they'll tell you that this is the role, and these are the benefits that you'll be getting, and this is what the expectation is, and this is the kind of profile that we're looking at.
Right.
So in case you're interested, then you apply for that company. So that's how. So I was absolutely sure that this is. I knew that it's a sales profile, but the reason why I went into Voltas is not the company is not because I was interested in the sales profile. It's just that I had been in Chandigarh all my life, and this company was actually taking us to Bombay. So that was the real thing for me, that I wanted to move out of Chandigarh and just be on my own for a while. So that is why and this company was actually the lowest. So their sales package was the lowest amongst all the other companies, but I went with this company.
But there's a lot of talk about. Were you with the Volta specifically?
Mm.
So there's a lot of
Yes, I.
talk about. Rather, I read about this book called. Forgot the name, but it's called the Tata Group. So
Okay.
the book really raves about the way companies function created by Tata and how every employee is taken care of very well, how systems are in place. Is it true?
Yeah.
If you worked in Voltus?
So I am talking 2004.
Hmm.
So 2004 to 2006 is when I worked with these guys, and so I'm living in Bombay.
Right.
Yeah. And okay, so I'll come to the just understand the context now, okay?
Yeah.
So the office is in Chinchpokli. I'm not so sure if you're aware of Bombay, and you live in Bombay only, no?
Yeah. I stay in
Acha,
Bombay.
acha. Oops, sorry.
You okay?
Yeah. I just
Tripped your
anyways.
Joby fell.
Yeah, it's
Do a
yeah.
case on
So,
Joby. Your tripods are falling around. Anyways, you were
अरे
saying?
वो मेरा हाथ लगा था. So anyway, so मैं कह रहा था कि my office is in Chinchpokli.
हाँ.
Yeah. And they have the factory in Thane.
हाँ.
So the company was very gracious enough to give us an accommodation. So they gave us a room, all the guys जो मेरे batch में थे, about 58, 59 of them,
हाँ.
and we each got an accommodation, and it was a one room with an attached toilet,
Right.
and there was a mess as well. And this thing was located in Thane, very close to the factory.
हाँ.
So of course the thinking must have been that Thane factory है और Thane में ही घर है. So हमारे को लगा पास में ही होगा, but we had to go all the way to Chinchpokli.
Yeah, that's far,
Yeah.
no? Because I don't know
That's
that side
really
of
far.
Bombay.
No, it's really far.
Okay.
So I had to first catch a bus, about half an hour ride, and then from Thane station I'd take a fast train to Baikala,
Huh.
and then I would either take a cab back from Baikala to Chinchpokli, or I would just take another slow train from Baikala to Chinchpokli, and then I would walk down to my office. So I'm just saying that ये इतना मेरे को हर दिन करना पड़ता था,
Hmm.
and my salary was 5,985 rupees. I still remember the amount,
Huh.
5,985. So just खुद ही just do the math यार कि कितना मिल रहा था and see you're right to a certain extent that the company see Tata is good in the sense that you get to learn a lot
Right.
and they have a very strong code of conduct. They're very employee friendly as well,
Huh.
but in terms of uh, remuneration at that point in time, I don't really think that Tatas are the best paymasters.
No, but
You get
understand that also that when you're just joining in, of course,
yeah
they have to keep their gates closed in a way that I'm sure the higher rung is getting paid more eventually, but they I think they are into rewarding the remuneration. The remuneration part comes later when you have more experience or something like that, because as we are discussing, there's so many engineers,
mm,
so many other people who are leaving colleges. It's kind of become factories, so the
yeah
companies kind of need to hold back to understand who's in here for the long run and what they're looking at. And again, I mean, as I learned from you just now, that a salesperson who is an engineer is going place to place to understand how he can get a deal for the company rather than working on engineering and design. So
mm,
that's something new for me. And when you said sales, I
mm,
assumed that it's related to sales of very specific parts that only an engineer understands. But this is sales which is at the very basic level. I think they want to take you through the process to understand where you are at and what you are exactly in here for. I remember
yeah that's right.
my brother, he worked for Wipro, and he used to work day in and day out. Like, he used to come home after 3 days, again finished engineering, and he joined Wipro. And he was being paid again a very minuscule amount that time, which was about 10,000 or something, for 48 hours of back to back work, where he has to sleep in the server rooms. He had to do all kinds of weird stuff in order
Mm.
to learn from the job, rather be the guy who's employed, who's got all this education in his bag. I think the real education nowadays begin at the job, where you're actually learning. So all
Yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
experiences, I believe, were kind of harsh and unpleasant, and of course there are learnings in everything. And was that the trigger to start following your passion as a musician, as a teacher?
No, 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 no. So I was giving lessons in Bombay as well, but I was just doing it
Okay.
on and off.
Okay.
Uh, Friends and some random people that I used to just online मेरे को दिख जाते थे और उस time Orkut होता था Orkut.
Huh,
So
Orkut.
yeah,
That
yeah,
scraps
so
we used to, yeah, right. I don't think people
yeah, yeah.
people who are listening, there used to be a social media platform called Orkut
Pre Facebook.
before Facebook. It was
Yeah,
owned by
yeah,
Google, and then it was shut down. I
that's
don't
right.
know if everybody has seen that, but there used to be something like Orkut.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
anyways, you say.
I used to get in touch with people through that and get some leads. I was selling my classes. So yeah, so I had very few students, but again it was on and off. And then what the trigger for me again, I was not really I didn't get into music again after my work with Volta. So what actually happened was that one of my colleagues, he was an MBA.
Hmm.
He was doing the same amount of work, but he was managing some different clients. So we had different clients, but he was getting his salary was almost three times mine.
Okay.
And the only reason was that he was an MBA.
Ah.
So that was the trigger which made me think, yeah, agar if a degree and the same amount of work can actually give you three times the salary, then might as well get that degree for myself too.
Yeah.
So in 2006, I decided to quit my job and I started preparing for my CAT exams. And yeah, so uske baad I got through MDI Gurgaon, which is a pretty good B school.
Hmm.
And I started marketing and strategy for 2 years, 2006 to 2008. And in 2008, through campus placement, I started working with Procter and Gamble, which
Hmm.
is again a pretty cool FMCG company. So I worked with them for like 9 years. And that's when the so I actually started YouTube in 2016. So till that time, I was still giving lessons. I was teaching students, and I also joined an institute to give lessons
Yeah.
in Bombay. and
Which one was that?
it was just there was a guy called Mickey.
Okay.
So he's actually a dance instructor, but he also needed some. And my wife was actually taking lessons, dance lessons from that guy.
Okay.
So that's when I came to know that he's looking for a guitar instructor. So I just joined him for a couple of months, and I was teaching kids there. So I was the point I'm trying to make is, it was like on and off. I would get students and I would teach them, and I used to really enjoy the process, seeing them grow, and that's something which I really so building capability is something which I was really happy with. And in 2016, July, I think if my memory serves me well, is when I decided to start the YouTube channel. Now, the YouTube channel was a decision primarily because I wanted a creative release. Because, for me, on and off classes just weren't uh, satisfying that
Right.
urge. And also, I was not too happy with my own practice here. I used to play at times, not play at times. So I just wanted to add a little more regularity to my own
Right.
playing. So I thought, okay, let's just start a YouTube channel. And at that point in time, the interesting thing is that I did not listen to any Bollywood music. For me, music was just rock music, blues, and metal. And so, but of course, I didn't want to start off with rock and English stuff. So I decided to, just do a couple of Hindi songs. And then once I get the right subscriber base is when my plan was to switch to Western stuff.
Right. To teach them the source of all the Bollywood music, where it's coming from.
Yeah, yeah. So, I actually I made a video in which I talked about Bollywood music and how I don't think that in order to be a good musician,
Right.
Bollywood music is what you need to be
Yeah.
practicing. Because the musicianship isn't really there in terms of composition, and तो उसपे मेरे को बहुत फ्लैक मिला था यार कि Bollywood music ये वो, but that's a part of the process.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Getting all these critical responses is kind of strange. But so 2016, you started just as a cover channel. You didn't plan to teach, or did you initially, when you put this thing together, that I'm going to go on YouTube, you put out about 3 videos a week right now, 2 videos a week, something like that?
Yeah, so right now it's about 2 videos and one live
Okay.
stream. On and off, man. There are times when I do just one video a week and a live
Okay.
stream. I started the live streams like 2 months back. So again, that's a very
So
recent
when
thing
you
to do.
started, did you have this in mind? I'm going to build this channel with consistency, and
Not at
you
all.
just wanted to put out
Not at all.
covers so that you
Not at all.
practice.
Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was just again, like I said, it was a creative release. I just wanted to and I think I wanted to start off a YouTube channel way back in 2014 maybe. But I started it in 2016, but because I just kept waiting. Yeah, I just kept waiting for the right time. I kept waiting for the right equipment, and then I think
Did
2016.
you get it ever, or did you just start eventually?
No, man. Eventually, I just started with whatever I
Yeah.
had. But I had a half decent DSLR,
Uh-huh.
so I had a DSLR. That's it. So I started off with a DSLR, and I didn't have any way to. I didn't understand softwares to edit videos and all. So मेरा company का laptop था. I should be saying this, but yeah, I installed a software on my company's laptop. And so my first 3 videos, my first 3 weeks, काफी देर, and my channel was in English, so I was talking in
Yeah.
English because that's what I was most comfortable with. And I think my channel currently has around 400 videos, 400 minus 40. I removed 40, so we'll come to the 40 videos too. But 360 videos, and the first 80 or 100 videos are all in English. And that's when I realized that people want me to speak in Hindi, so I started doing lessons in Hindi.
Right.
But anyways, I was telling you about the lessons. So the first 3-4 lessons, they were shot in one continuous shot.
Right.
So I didn't really know how to edit videos.
Yeah.
So and I have this thing that बीच में बिल्कुल भी गलती होगी, then I'll start from the top.
Yeah.
So I didn't want there to be any interruption as well. I didn't like it if I'm playing something I made a mistake. So I didn't want that mistake to be evident. So I'd start recording again. So all those videos were one-shot videos, 20-25 minute
Right.
long. And add to it the fact that I still am a little camera shy. So it was very difficult for me. But
Yeah, it's just the camera shy aspect. No, I mean, people feel that people who record content are very comfortable in front of the camera, but it's hard, man. I mean, I remember
it is.
just when I sat in front of the camera to do something, it's strange. It doesn't make sense. It's hard. It's hard to speak properly. So I used to just literally have one day to myself to speak my lesson and record and listen to it. And I used to mumble a lot. I used to not make words sound properly. Like what's coming out of my mouth right now, you can understand. Earlier it would be, it used to literally,
It
and
Dude, it still happens with me, man. It still
And
happens with me
I
right
used
now.
to think that this is how I talk, and how do I even have friends? I do they even understand what I'm saying? Because in my head, I'm making total sense. And when I recorded myself
Yeah,
initially, I realized, hey, I'm not making sense. I can't be understood. So a lot of
yeah,
time
that's
went into just deciding what to teach, and then
mm,
deciding, not even deciding, just practicing how to say it, and then recording and listening to yourself, making corrections that you don't say words this way, you have to say it that way, and then slowly you become more comfortable in front of the camera. And then
yeah,
the
that's true.
strange part of it is that you might be comfortable in front of the camera in a certain situation. Like, closest example for me is that when I started the podcast, live streaming,
Mm,
camera shooting made me a little uncomfortable. And it's not that I'm absolutely comfortable and at ease all the time right now, but my
mm,
body and my mind is slowly making this connection of bringing comfort step by step, and it's for everybody. I don't
yeah,
think anybody is born to just get up and sit in front of a camera and just go for it. Maybe you are
that's
doing
true.
it right now and you're not remembering the hurdles you had, but I feel that everybody goes through it. So again, stopping yourself from making content because you feel shy is normal.
Mm,
So you have to break that shyness by going through the process of doing it. And gear,
absolutely.
I've talked about it multiple times on this podcast, that you will never have the right gear. It's just a rule.
Yeah, yeah,
Something will always be missing, but just go all cylinders firing up with whatever you have. And just before we started rolling this, rather streaming this, we were discussing how you also decided to start with whatever you had, the DSLR or whatever it was, and then you went
that's
for it.
right.
So
Mm,
2016, it was only a cover thing. Then you started doing stuff in English, and then at some point you
yeah,
decided to build a website. That I'm going to make a website, and the website is full of tabs and everything.
that's
And
right.
did
That's
you
right.
decide to monetize it from the beginning, or I see a lot of donation written there, but then I
Yeah,
also
yeah, yeah.
saw another video of yours where you were talking to the camera saying, and people saying that donations are like, I've not seen any donations in years altogether. It's been 4 years now since the channel is out and the website is running.
Yeah, so I started talking donations last year, and again, understand sort of the reason why I started YouTube was not because I wanted to make money. I was never really meant to be and YouTube isn't really good for making money. I'm pretty sure that you're aware of this
Yeah, I
as
haven't
well.
seen
That
any
you,
money since I started. I haven't seen. It shows in my
yeah,
that analytics section, but I haven't seen anything.
yeah.
So, and of course,
But
in
but
years also, it's hardly any money that you can actually earn off YouTube.
but YouTube has actually introduced a couple of
Hmm.
initiatives which might help content creators later. And but anyways, the reason why you start YouTube should never be to make money. It's always because there has to be another motive, right?
That's
So
true.
in my
Hmm.
case, YouTube was more about merging my love for teaching and of course, just getting a little more regularity in my playing and the creative release that I was telling you about. So that is something that I started off YouTube with. That was the motive, and it still continues to be the number one reason. So YouTube is not really a money
So
making thing
every
for me.
video you put
I
out, you
barely
want to solve some problem. You want to add some value to whoever watches the video. It's always like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you remember the other day when we were talking, you asked me, ki, why do I read comments? And
Yeah.
when we spoke last time, you said, ki comments kaise, how can you,
I
which
was
something of
yeah, I
that
was
sort. No, you
saying
said,
that see, I don't have that kind of a subscriber base right now. I have about 5,500 subscribers. But when it reaches your number, of course there are hecklers, of course, and you're at like 130,000 or something like that. And there are all kinds of people in the world, and there's
yeah,
people are going to say stuff. I was just talking to you and saying that for your own mental well-being, you might need to be off comments. So that's what I was talking about.
yeah. So I'll tell you a couple of things here. So two things here. Uh, First is again, if you remember, the reason why I'm doing this is because I believe that. So I'm not in the business of guitar lessons or music education per se. I would like to believe that I'm I'm in the business of changing lives through music education, so to
Right.
speak. So I'm actually changing somebody's life and making their life better. I'm giving them some skills. So that's what I would like to believe.
Hmm.
So, which is which is one of the main reasons why I really enjoy reading comments. So I still read all the comments. I read all the
Right.
comments. I may not respond to them. YouTube has just introduced that heart thing, which is really convenient for creators like us, because we can just click on that heart and the
Yeah, yeah.
person knows that पढ़ लिया है, ठीक है? So I do a lot of those hearts. But I really enjoy reading comments because that gives me a true picture of whether that person's life is getting impacted or not. Some of the and most of the comments are people very kind and थोड़ा बहुत तो negative होता ही है.
How
So that's
you
that's
can't help
that's
it.
that's point number one. Point number two is sort of I would like to believe, and that's I would like to believe that I have a very internal locus of control. So I don't really get impacted by things around me. I don't get impacted by negative comments. And
Hmm.
जो मेरा वो video था ना, that video was a different thing, and I'll come to that video, and we will talk about that as well. But I don't really get impacted. So you were saying that thing, no, that somebody in my live stream said, "तुम तो पागल हो."
Yeah,
I was pretty relaxed उसके बाद भी ना, तो I just keep moving this
that's
mic.
okay.
Yeah, so I was pretty relaxed and chilled out after that comment as well. So just for the guys who don't really know this, so I was in a live stream, and it's I do a live stream every week, and so I try to answer as many questions as possible. But of course, given the fact that I have a pretty decent subscriber base, it's a little difficult for me to answer all the questions, because you keep getting a lot of these questions, and I'm answering a question and तभी 20 questions और आ गए. So somebody had just written a comment कि तुम तो पागल हो, तुम मेरा question नहीं answer करते. So that's the situation.
Hmm.
So that's the context. So I read that comment and I was pretty amused. यार ऐसा नहीं है कि I just took offense कि ये क्या लिख रहे हैं. So I
Yeah.
get a lot of these comments, yeah, but I would like to believe that I have a very internal locus
Yeah.
of control.
See, like I read my comments definitely because there are a lot of questions sometimes as to somebody's trying to ask something or somebody's trying to suggest something. But in my experience, like right now, I'm not at that stage where people have 1 million subscribers, and then what happens? I don't know. Like how do people? Because people say all kinds of things, and what I've seen though is that a lot of people who are commenting less or not commenting, they happen to be a very like if when I release the course, a lot of people who bought the course, I've never seen them comment for some reason. And there's a thing about people who are not engaging in comments. There's something about them that they're watching. Like a lot of people are watching but not writing. Like I didn't know forever in YouTube, using YouTube for many years, that where is that comment section? Where do I go down and where do I even type a comment? I didn't know. I'm sure many
Okay.
people are like that they're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
finding that section where you even comment.
Mm.
But what I'm trying to get at is that um, this whole feeling of having hecklers in the list. Like sometimes people write shit to me also. Like
Yeah.
and the kind of things they write, I can't even understand because they want to say bad things to me in very bad English. And it's just not adding up what they're trying to say, and it's a whole paragraph sometimes. And I'm
Yeah.
looking at it and I'm wondering that, okay, I don't think it makes sense, but I'll write back to him that, hey man, I didn't understand what you're saying, but I can understand you're upset about something. So just let me know if I can help you in any way. If there's a question you have about bass playing, or if there's something you didn't understand in the video,
Yeah.
I'll reply to it as much as I can. But I do see my comments to understand where are these lessons going. Of course, I'm not like ignoring it completely. But when I heard you and when I imagine that, I can't imagine actually what it would be like to be in a big subscriber base. And then, of course, this is just one example that one guy is saying this to you, and then there'll be thousands of people writing other kind of stuff. Or other to YouTube will be removing by default only ki, there's a code of conduct on
Yeah.
YouTube that you can't write certain things, and then it goes on from there. So when you're solving these problems on YouTube, you're trying to help people learn a song. Let's say Dil Bechara is out, new song. I was trying to learn it yesterday. I have to put it out. Fantastic song it is. So how much do you think for a person who is entered YouTube, how important it is to give tutorials on newer songs and give people an opportunity to learn those songs? Of course, the best way of learning is by ear, that people have the tools. But then
That's right.
again, people just want to play a song. They're craving to play a song. Is it
That's right.
is it something you keep an eye on and you're always aware of what are the new good songs coming out that people want to learn?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's a learning that I had about 5 or 6 months after I'd started the
Okay.
channel. So
Okay.
earlier, the content that I was uploading was just songs that I liked. So I remember the first song that I uploaded in 2016 was um, Tare Zameen Par Ka wo Kholo Kholo Darwaze,
Right.
because I really like I think it's got a fantastic guitar part. Yeah.
It's a great riff, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great riff. So that song, and I also uploaded at the same time. I uploaded Mere Bina from this movie called Crook, because it has some really nice major seven chords in it, and also, so these are the songs which I really liked. So I started uploading all these videos, and later on I realized that at the end of the day, see, remember, it's all about how do you sell a product, right? It's awareness, equity, and availability, right? So awareness is something that, so people need to be aware of your product. People need to
Hmm.
be aware that there's this guy who's creating some content, and through that you need to ensure that whenever they search for something, your name pops up.
Right.
So that's how they get aware of your product, right? So, and if you look at the keywords, and there's this Google keyword
Yeah,
analysis
the
that you can
search
do,
engine
right?
optimization.
So yeah, exactly, SEO. So if you do the SEO, you'll realize that the trending things is what you need to be after,
Right.
and which is why, in fact, there are quite a lot of channels whose USP is not really giving out the best content. So they might
Right.
not be the most accurate, and they might sing really bad. They might play very bad as well. But the USP is the fact that the moment a song gets released,
Yeah.
10 minutes after that, they have a lesson.
They have a lesson, they have the right words used in order for the internet to direct the
Ca-
traffic to them.
See, honestly, I don't really know YouTube may how much the tags and all. So, again, I
Yeah.
don't really know how relevant those tags are. But if you can just so Dil Bechara gets uploaded today. In
Right.
the next half an hour, if you can just make any kind of a half decent video saying Dil Bechara guitar cover, because that's what people will search for, right? So you don't
Right.
need to put in the tags. You just put it in your title. Dil
Right.
Bechara guitar lesson.
Yeah.
It will show right at the top.
And then of
बाद में
course,
जाके
then
sorry.
it becomes kind of a strategy that you can apply to build your channel. And of course, it's not that you're trying to fool anyone. Of course, it's a genuine thing that people do want to play it. They
Yeah,
see
yeah,
that
yeah.
it's available at Adit Kundra's channel. They go there, they learn the song, and then they get exposed to all the other resources that you have there, like the finger exercises, chord exercises, your website, and all the courses that you have.
Yeah, but I'll come to the courses later.
Hmm.
But I'll tell you something, Saurabh, and this is again a point of differentiation that I was trying to create for my channel since the very beginning.
Hmm.
Because how I gave my lessons was how I would have wanted an instructor to be teaching me, right? So if you were to look at my channel, the first 100 odd videos, they always had this thing in the title, complete and accurate. And that
Right.
is a need which when I searched online, I realized that was a big need. I just felt that it's a need. Maybe it's not a need for the larger chunk of the audience, but
Hmm.
for me it was a need that there wasn't any channel which was giving accurate chords.
Hmm.
There wasn't any channel which was doing the entire song. They would just do the main verse and maybe a few lines from the chorus, and that's it. But I wanted to learn the bridge as well. I wanted to learn the
Yeah.
pre-chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there wasn't any channel which was addressing those two things.
Hmm.
So for the first 80 odd videos, I used to explicitly write complete and accurate.
Ah.
I stopped writing that later, but even now, but 90% of my channel, 90% of the videos happen to be songs. I ensure that I do the entire song. So that's point number one. So that was my supposed point of difference from
Hmm.
the other channels. The other thing is that, in again, I'm talking from right from video one. I don't just talk the song. I don't just teach the guys a song in my videos. So my videos are generally about 20 minutes, and that's because I do the song, I talk about the chords, but I also try to get into a little bit about theory, try to get into composition. So why was this particular chord used? And I was trying to get into analysis, and
Just
this
plant
chord
a
comes
little
up.
bit of knowledge in that song,
Correct, correct,
basically
correct.
related
Now
to the
this,
song.
yeah, now you can safely say that that has actually backfired, because a major chunk of the audience, they're not really interested in all that. See, guitar लोग क्यों सीखते हैं? Guitar has the highest drop-off rate as well, right? People want to get into guitar because हमने गाना बजाना है and we want to impress someone, ठीक है? Uh, Generally a girl, right? So हमने impress करना है किसी को. That's
Hmm.
how so you just want to learn the chords. So which is why people want कि चार chords में गाना सिखा दो. That's that. We don't want to be a guitar player. We just want to be able to play that song.
Right.
And for those guys, I am not the right channel because I don't do that. I don't really have those beginner versions. I have been saying this from the very beginning that, you will not find any beginner versions. I will tell you the right way to play the song.
Yeah.
Now, as a beginner, you need to go slow. So there are other things that you need to do, right? So you need to go slow and ensure that your technique is right.
Yeah.
But don't expect those four chord songs or uh, two chords, 100 songs and all.
So how
So
much were you conscious about this when you started the channel, or rather started teaching that I'm going to teach to this specific kind of audience? Did you
yeah.
decide this consciously when you were starting your teaching aspect of the channel?
So I was very sure that this is the kind of content that I will be rolling out. Because like I shared with you, this is the content that I was looking for on YouTube. I was not sure. And again, मेरे को लग रहा था कि बहुत सही, बहुत stud channel होने वाला है ये because it's so accurate. And I still get this feeling यार, इतना accurate song कोई भी नहीं कर सकता है यार, ये तो बहुत सही है. But people don't really want that, but that's okay. And see, I have about 100,000 subscribers. There are a lot of channels which have 1 million subscribers, and those channels actually started off way after me.
Yeah.
There are quite a few channels जिनके million हो चुके हैं. But I'm absolutely okay with that because again, I'm not really, and I'm not saying this because अंगूर खट्टे हैं वाली बात नहीं है. But
हाँ.
actually, I didn't really start off YouTube because I wanted to be 1 million subscribers.
Hmm.
I wanted to give quality. What I believe is quality. I wanted to give that quality education.
Right.
So right now I have a very niche audience here.
Hmm.
So a very small audience, decent audience.
Yeah.
But those guys know that when they come to my channel, this is what they're signing up for. So they'll be getting complete education. They'll be getting accurate songs, and they'll be getting a lot of tips on musicianship and theory, and in the
Right.
same song.
Right.
So if I'm doing a Dil Bechara, I'll do theory as well in that.
So the understanding of all this is that there is a market and audience for every kind of a thing. Like there are people who are making a lot of subscribers and then teaching songs, or rather uh, kind of a makeshift version of a song for somebody to play or be able to play Dil Bechara. Yes, there are other
Yeah.
versions and all. They might not tell a person to play a major 7. They might just tell them to play a major chord.
Major chord, yeah.
Or they might just tell the person to put on a capo and just not play a bar chord at
But
all.
yeah,
Like
that's
put a
right.
capo here and then just go for it. But I understand
That's
where you're coming from. All I wanted to know was that how aware were you that there is separate kind of markets for everything, and then of course over the period of time you decided that this is my market and I'm going to stick to it. This is my method, that we pick up a song, doesn't matter if it's difficult, doesn't matter if there are bar chords or whatever it is, and we will talk about the song in a way that we learn music from it, we learn theory
Yeah.
from it. And that's your approach, and there's a market for that people want to understand and break down. I just want to do a little shout out and want to thank Vimal Vijayan. Uh, sent a super sticker for 200 rupees. Thank you so much, Vimal, man. It really, really means a lot that you're contributing and
Yes, it
supporting the
does.
channel. Okay, so when did you understand and realize that you can build a course, and where did that inspiration come from? That I'm going to build a course and I'm going to make step by step things and make it available for people.
Yeah. So I remember that we still haven't discussed the donation bit, so I'll kind of merge it with this particular
That
question
sounds good. Yeah.
because my mind works like that. सौरभ कि ये चीज अभी पेंडिंग बची है, अभी आंसर करना है कि
There's
मेरा.
so much to talk about all the time, man.
I know, man.
We
I know,
drift
I know.
apart also. Anyways,
So
let's keep
yeah,
talking.
so let's continue. So I started off my YouTube channel in 2016, not making money. That's all right. I was okay with this, but my intent was just put the right information. Okay. So in 2000, in fact, 2016 is when 2016 last quarter is when I quit my job.
Huh.
And again, it's a pretty significant move, and I'm just trying to make you understand the context, yeah, so that you'll understand the situation.
Yeah.
Okay, so I quit my job. I've been working with them for like 8-9 years in a top tier company, and I was doing pretty well as well, good paycheck. And I just decided to quit my job. It was the absolute worst time to be quitting my job because of certain financial reasons and all. But I just decided to do that. I convinced my wife as well. And then we decided to travel in Southeast Asia for about 5 or 6 months and just volunteer because we just wanted to do something good. And, so we were volunteering. And then, so that the reason why that thing is important is because, suddenly, for the first time, I had actually quit my job, as in I had quit my job after Voltas too. But I knew that I'm still going to be in the same field, right? I'll do an MBA and I'll still continue to work. But here, I didn't really know what I was planning to do in future. But I just wanted to take that risk because, I felt that I have the right kind of skills and I have been wanting to get into music, but I didn't really have the courage way back. So let me just do that. So I just decided to quit my job and travel and, just take a risk basically.
Yeah, and
And
this is about 6 7 years into your job, you're saying.
so about 9 years,
9 years.
2016 October is when I quit my job.
Huh. So then.
And so my wife and I, we both of us quit our jobs, and then we traveled in Southeast Asia. And like I shared with you, we were volunteering in schools and um, just teaching kids, and we were not getting paid, but we were just doing this because we wanted to do that. So we did that in Cambodia for a month. We were in Vietnam for 3 months, and we went to Thailand as well. So, we just wanted to live in a.
So what kind of volunteering? Like, were you teaching academics? Were you teaching music?
I was actually doing both,
Okay.
but so I was giving lessons. I was giving lessons to backpackers, and of course, I was getting paid for that. But the volunteering bit was just unpaid work. It was, so we were shuru mein in Cambodia, we were in a preschool, so we were just helping take care of the kids.
Yeah.
And then in Vietnam, so we used to approach these people,
Were you in Phnom
get in
Penh
touch.
in Cambodia?
Yes, I
Okay.
was in Phnom Penh. And so we did that for a month, and then in Vietnam we were helping this lady set up her yoga studio. So we did the marketing for her. So I used to go out and hand over pamphlets and all to people. Stores वो होते हैं रोड पे खड़े होते हैं लोग pamphlets बांट रहे होते हैं. So I was doing that. I did that for a month. I was okay with that, because I was just trying. It was a new experience, right?
A different culture also. It's not,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
not looked at badly while you do that outside India most of the times.
No, I don't mind doing that in India as well, just to let you, because I told you, I have a very internal, I would like to believe I have a very internal locus of control. But anyway,
That's
so
good.
the thing is that uh, it was a volunteering assignment, so we did that work, and in exchange, that person or that institution would give us a place to stay. So that's what the deal is.
Hmm.
So even in the school, we would teach for like 5 hours, and in exchange, they would give us a place to stay. So which ensures that our finances are taken care of. You're not really spending a lot of money on hotels and all. So we did
Right.
that in Cambodia, then 3 months in Vietnam, and we did some other stuff as well. And then we just absolutely loved Vietnam here. So हमने बोला कि चलो. Vietnam was never in the cards for us, अगर हमने.
Which city did you start with? Hanoi?
So no.
or
We
Ho
were
Chi
staying
Minh?
in Ho Chi Minh,
Okay.
and we did the volunteering for two and a half months in Ho Chi Minh, and then I bought a bike, a really shitty backpacker. So मैंने bike खरीदी for $150,
The
and then we
smaller
did.
ones, no? They're smaller
No,
in
no, no,
size also.
no. I bought a proper Honda Win, the geared one.
Oh, the big one.
Yeah, and then not big as in not a Enfield types, but जो regular जैसे अपनी वो होती है ना 100 होती है 100 cc Yamaha.
Yeah.
Very similar. So Honda Win is very popular there. It was a very shitty bike, yeah. So I bought it for $160, and then I sold it off for like $200.
Hmm.
But anyway, so I bought it in Ho Chi Minh, and then we did a bike trip from Ho Chi Minh to Hanoi. So that took us like a month. So we
Yeah.
used to Ho Chi Minh se gaye Moine. We stayed there for a couple of days. Then we went to Dalat. So we did that from south to north.
Right.
And then we absolutely loved the place. We loved the people. The food was amazing. And so after जब ये 5-6 महीने हो गए तब मेरे घर से फोन आने शुरू हो गए कि बेटा क्या प्लान है तुम्हारा ये कब तक चलेगा because I can't really expect them to understand, right? Because so we went back to India in April May types March April 2017. And then from India, we started searching for a job in Vietnam. So because we absolutely loved that place, yeah. So मेरा तो because I'm a sales guy, right? And sales में Vietnam, of course, they have a different language, and I didn't really have any Vietnamese experience, so मेरे को तो job मिल नहीं रही थी. But my wife, she's from a digital marketing background, so she was able to secure a job in Vietnam from India.
Right.
So we packed our bags again, and then we moved to Vietnam. And
Wow.
in about a month or two, I was able to get a job as well in sales. So I worked for a year and a half. So anyways, तो फिर क्या हुआ कि 2018 end में जब when I was making my New Year resolution for 2019, I decided that यार एक बार पहले मैं कर चुका हूँ. I've taken that risk, and I absolutely love that experience. So I'm talking about my Vietnam experience and my volunteering experience. So I thought that maybe I should give it a shot again. Maybe I should just quit my job and just think of music as a full-time profession, and music mein teaching is a full-time profession. And the YouTube channel was doing all right, but I was still not making money out of that. I mean, my earnings were like 60, 70 odd dollars a month. And that is not enough, given the fact that I had uploaded nearly 350 videos then,
Yeah.
300
Yeah.
videos. So, so I just thought, ki chalo, let me just try quitting my job.
Hmm.
And I put in my papers and I started working on my course. So that's when I was actually reading a lot about online businesses and passive streams of income. It was
Right.
that was the buzzword, right? So
Yeah.
so I thought, okay, let me just think of a course here. So I knew that a major chunk of the audience is looking for beginner level stuff.
Right.
Yeah, they don't really want intermediate and advanced things. Of course, there's an audience for that as well, but major chunk wants beginner. And the opportunity is that people aren't able to think in structure.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of good players, but there aren't a lot of good guitar instructors. And
That's
even
true.
even if they are good guitar instructors, they're not able to structure their thoughts.
Yeah.
And even if they're able to structure their thoughts, they're not able to present it in a very simple and crisp way.
Yeah.
So I just
It's a
felt that
different skill altogether.
absolutely, absolutely, it's a very different skill. And thanks to my corporate background, I would like to believe again that I'm able to think in structure and I'm able to tie all the loose ends and all. So that's when I started working on this course, and I would like to believe again that it's a fantastic course. So it was around 70 odd videos, about 8 hours of playtime. And
Hmm.
I actually bought some equipment. I got a mic and I got a lot of stuff. And again, same as your course, I did a lot of infographics. Sab maine khud kiya.
Hmm.
And then I had this course ready, about 70 videos. Now the decision was, I had decision that I had to take was, should I make it a paid course or should I make it a
Free.
free for
Yeah.
everyone? So मैंने सोचा कि देखो यार, अभी I've recently quit my job, so I have some savings here. So money is not an issue, and this is a beginner course. So let me just try to impact as many lives as I can. Okay,
Hmm.
so that was the Sant Adit talking कि भैया
Yeah, solve this problem of people not finding structured step-by-step lessons in a way that because you have that skill, you know how to organize
absolutely,
stuff, so you're able to do that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah,
decided to solve that issue. Yeah,
absolutely,
because even my course came into action because I got a lot of comments and messages about that, sir. We need step-by-step instructions. So that's what I
Indian
made
thing,
it. It's
Indian
it's a
thing,
step-by-step based
yeah,
lesson
yeah, yeah.
basically. That's the course. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so I was telling about Sant Adit, huh? So मैंने सोचा कि चलो, what I'll do is I'll put it on YouTube. But there's a catch. See,
Ah,
it's not a free course.
okay.
So I wrote in every video of mine, Niche, ki guys, it's an honor system.
Right.
So that's when the donation thing started. That's when I started talking donation. So I'm talking February 2019.
Hmm.
Right? So I started my channel in July 2016. So 16 to 19, I did not talk donations because it was not really meant to be that was not the idea behind the channel, right? Donating and all. But now that I'm actually releasing a course and I'm giving it to you guys for free, I just thought, why not just introduce what I call an honor system,
Right.
which essentially means that if you really enjoyed the content, if you really enjoyed the course, and you have the resources to maybe contribute and support the channel, again, keeping in mind the fact that I'm not really working, just donate. So donation can be $5, man. There's no value, right? Even
That's
five
right.
bucks, $10 is good. Anything is good as long as you're doing it from the goodness of your heart
Yeah.
and you feel that the content has helped you out. So only if you have the resources. So that's when the donation thing started. So yeah, so that course was online for almost a year and a half. And July 1st is when I decided to take that course off YouTube.
Hmm.
So now it's a paid course.
Hmm.
But yeah, so this is one course. Then I in February this year, so this February I was in Chandigarh and I decided to do a workshop with some kids with some guys in Chandigarh. So that workshop was on music theory and composition and basically borrowed chords and modulation and a lot of cool stuff. So I did that workshop and I had a nice response. So I thought, why not just make that into a course? Because a lot of people told me that we can't come to Chandigarh, we can't travel all the way to Chandigarh. Why don't you just stream it online for us
Hmm.
and all? So that's when I decided to make a course. So that was my second course. So I reshot everything, and then that was my second course, which I introduced in
And how
Feb.
much time are you spending building a course? Like the first one you recorded, how long it took from the inception to
Oh
execution?
man, it took me a lot of time. So
How,
but I'll
in
tell you what,
months, if I would ask, how much time?
I'll come- I'll give you those deets as well. For me, so generally it takes me around 2.5. So the first course took me a lot of time.
Yeah.
I actually started preparing for this course while I was still working. So I think November 2018 is when I started
Right.
working on this course, and February is when I was ready with it.
Hmm.
But a major chunk of the time actually goes in structuring the content.
Yeah.
So I already know what I'll be speaking and all, yeah. But I'll give you an example. So this first course. So I start off with day zero. So day zero is essentially, so it's the course is called Learn Guitar in 30 days. So there's a day wise plan. So today you will be doing this, and this is what you need to do. So day wise plan.
Hmm.
All my courses are like that.
Hmm.
Today you do this. Second day you do this, and also. So there was a day zero in this as well, which I tell you about, in which I tell the viewer about the different kinds of guitars and how to make that decision. So how to purchase a guitar.
Hmm.
So my video number 6 or 7 was the parts of a guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah? So and that's when I talk about the fretboard and all. So essentially, I can't really mention fretboard in my first 5 videos
Hmm.
because I haven't really spoken about that as well.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken about that as yet.
Yeah.
So that that is the kind of detail that I went into. That अभी जो बंदा है वो बिल्कुल ब्रांड न्यू है उसको कुछ नहीं पता बिकॉज वी हैव दिस हैबिट नो सेइंग कि ये ऐसे होता है ये फ्रेटबोर्ड है ये वो है वो निकल जाता है
हाँ.
बट वो पहली बार सुन रहा है उसको क्या पता फ्रेटबोर्ड क्या होता है
That's right.
सो आई वेंट टू दैट डिटेल कि यार फर्स्ट 5 वीडियोस में आई कांट यूज दीज वर्ड्स आई हैव टू से ये जो आप देख रहे हैं ये लक्कड़ का जो भी है व्हाटएवर थिंग्स
हाँ.
लाइक दैट
That's right.
so I went into a lot of detail so again your question is how much time does it take so it takes me about 66 so 2/3 of the time actually goes in structuring everything
Hmm.
what is the right content and because I need to be very selective about the content and I need to put it in the right way so 2/3 of the time goes in structuring then it takes me about a week to 10 days to just record everything and then the balance 3 weeks is maybe just editing everything and that's how it is but here I just allow me to add one more thing my first course took me a lot more time as compared to my latest course
So first course is how many days again? How many? 2.5 months. You said.
3 months
3 months. And the second course took how long to create?
So second course was the workshop. The workshop content must have taken me about a week to वो करने में because that course is also beginner, intermediate, and advanced.
Yeah.
So it has different modules. And then the third course, but this was like a theory course, no? So theory course
So
में कुछ
this
बजाना
was
नहीं था.
basically a recording that when you were teaching people, talking and answering their questions, it's a accumulation of those videos. You
No. So the second theory course. So I did a workshop.
Yeah.
But I didn't record it then because
Okay,
I
so
didn't want.
yeah, of course
I didn't
it's
want
not
to
structured.
focus on the. Yeah, no, it was structured. It was structured. The workshop content is very structured, but I didn't record it then because I didn't want to, I didn't want to focus on the students as well as the recording की सब सही हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा. अभी
मेरी
से ये
शर्ट
mic
का
चल रहा है.
बटन ठीक है, मेरी शर्ट और सब.
हाँ वो सब तो हाँ इतना तो मैं नहीं सोचता शर्ट
पसीना
का
तो
बटन.
नहीं आ रहा माथे पे.
हाँ नहीं वो सब मैं नहीं सोचता. But होता है ना कि रिकॉर्डिंग सही हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा. I don't trust technology, man.
Yeah,
So,
man. I mean, you never know. I
Yes.
understand what you're saying.
So I re-recorded all the content. मैंने सारा जो भी workshop थी मैंने फिर से record करा, but it's just me talking theory and just giving them demonstration,
Right.
giving them a demonstration. So the third course was a continuation of my first course. The first course is stage 1, when you start playing the guitar. So that's like the absolute beginner course. The third course, which I just introduced last month, is a continuation. It's stage 2. So this course took me a lot lesser time. I think it took me like 2 months.
Right.
And this course is actually bigger, so it has about 102 videos.
And how many hours are you spending in a day to build all this?
I was spending close to 6 to 7 hours a day at least. Yeah.
That's solid
Wait.
work time without breaks, excluding breaks, meaning?
So I'm not working. So yeah. So I'm घर में बैठा हूँ ना मैं तो that's my work. So,
that's your work time
so,
basically. Like your physical
that's
work is happening during the day. It's about 7 hours a day.
Yeah, but okay. So I don't know what you're trying to get at, but I don't really do a 9 to 5 kind of thing. कि मेरा 9 to 5 is my work day घर में बैठ के.
अच्छा.
So I do like 9. I wake up at like maybe 1 p.m. at times.
Yeah.
Then I sit at 5 p.m. and 5 p.m. से मैं 2 बजे तक बैठ के करता रहूँगा. Maybe things like that. It's on and off, man. So I
But
don't really
it's
follow.
more like you have to put these many hours a day. That's how you function, rather than fixing your time of the day that I work during these hours.
Okay, so here as well, I think I'm getting what you're trying to arrive at. I'm not very disciplined here. I don't really think कि मेरे को 10 घंटे करना है. Or at least right now I'm not very disciplined. I just do as much as I can. So there'll be days when I'm clocking 12 hours. There'll be some days in which I clock like 2 hours.
Okay.
So it just goes on and off, man. So I don't really have a very fixed schedule for myself, and there's a reason for that as well. Because where I am right now, So my wife and I, we are staying in a one room studio.
Right.
So my wife is right there, you know. So
Hmm.
and वो सामने bed है. So it's you remember I told you I'm very camera shy. So it's very difficult for me to record with people around and all. But there's no option, no, because lockdown hai, so I can't ask her to leave.
That's right.
So so given the situation, you know, I used to choose certain hours कि मैं रात को करूँगा या दिन में करूँगा. So it's just on and off, man.
Okay.
So I'm not very structured and disciplined
I
right
mean,
now.
it's a structure in itself. The structure is that I need to find windows according to the, respect my partner's schedule, how her
Yeah, yeah,
work
yeah.
hours are, when do I feel the most comfortable. That's your structure. I mean, everybody has a structure. It's not that.
That's a nicer way to put it, but yeah. So
Mm.
if you call that structure, then yes, I had a structure.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when I'm saying structure, I'm just talking about having that intent to get it done. The
Mm,
intent to have a plan, that my plan is to put out a course. How
mm,
we get it done, we never know. There's so many things happening always. Even if you have the right space, if you have a room to yourself, sometimes there might be somebody sick in your family, or
yeah, yeah,
or you might be the head of the family in order to attend to everything that is needed, that is necessary. You're the guy to talk to for everything, so you have to have structure around that. Like, I know people who have kids, they have to be available. They can't tell their child that, hey, I work from home, don't enter my house, enter my room at 9 o'clock, don't enter at 12.
yeah,
Of course, you can try doing that, but man, children are children. You're feeling all that love towards them all the time, etc.
yeah,
Now, what they do is, their structure is, when the children go to bed, we're going to sit and start working. So they'll be up all night working when the kids are sleeping. That's the structure. So, I mean, the whole thing is that they have this intent to work, they have this intent to make things happen, and then they
mm,
take that seed and then they make stuff happen, working around whatever is going on. Problem
yeah,
is that sometimes we see it as an excuse that I do not have the right kind of environment. Now, what you're saying is so inspiring. You're building courses, but you're also respecting the fact that your partner is in the same room as you are. So you need to figure out how you're going to solve this. But the intent sets all that for you. That my intent is to put out a course, my intent is to solve somebody's problem that they might be having, like having a beginner structured guitar course might not be out there, and even if it is there, then everybody might not have access to it. You might have to physically travel, go to a school, might not have that much money. That schools charge in lakhs and lakhs right now, music
yeah.
schools.
That's right. That's right.
And
That's
if
true.
somebody can have access to a course which is so structured right now, how much is your beginner course going for?
1,500 bucks.
1500 rupees. Like, it's not even like, if you go to a city train fare, it's one side of the fare. Like, it's that.
Mm,
I mean, if you look at it like that, it's so affordable for anybody to start learning guitar or start something somewhere. That's very, very cool, man, on your part. That I'm hearing this and I'm feeling there's so much you can do with whatever you have and wherever you are. And then, of course, you're telling all these awesome stories where you've traveled to Vietnam, you've lived there, now you're in Brisbane, and you're kind of creating your own rules and systems, but still your intent is deciding what I want to do, I will do it, and then you're taking it forward. So, okay,
thank you so much.
your course came into action, step by step structure. Where were we at? Please continue.
Yeah, so I was telling you that my third course actually took me a lot lesser time,
Hmm.
and even though the content was significantly more. So in my stage one course, there's 70 videos and 8 hours of playtime.
Hmm.
My stage two course has 101 or 102 videos, but 12 hours of playtime.
Right.
But this one took me 3 months, and this one took me 2 months. And of course, you can always argue that that's because you kind of used to, you get into a certain well, then you get into the groove, and then you know how to shoot videos and all.
Right.
But that was not the reason. That was not the biggest reason why I took lesser time. The biggest reason was also because I identified that the customer,
Right.
the one who's actually purchasing my course, he doesn't really care too much about what's the quality of the. I mean, of course, quality is important to a certain extent, but I don't really need to exceed expectations on how it looks.
Yeah.
So earlier, I still remember in my stage one video, I shot a video, and then I realized कि एक drink की bottle दिख रही थी.
Hmm.
And I was like, shit, man, ये क्या है? Then I'm like, okay, then I need to remove this, or maybe reshoot the video again, or things like that. I was actually really worried about these things which don't really matter. At the end of the day, people want the content.
Content is king, yes.
Content is king. So my stage one was with a lot of fancy gadgets and me changing the camera angles and doing a lot of stuff. Stage two, of course I changed the camera angles, but here, the intent was very clear. As long as the message reaches the consumer, as long as the message reaches the student
Hmm.
in the nicer way, it doesn't really matter. So a lot of my videos were actually shot on phone. So my stage two videos, I did them on my phone, yeah. And I mean, phones give you reasonable, decent, half decent quality.
Right.
So that's okay. That's absolutely fine. So I don't really need to invest in a lot of this technology, and I don't need to do all the syncing and all. So I was kind of fine with that, and people are kind of okay with that as well. So that's also the reason why I took a lot lesser time to record my stage two videos, because I
Right.
was focusing on the right things versus फालतू की चीजें.
I just like this is very cool that it's kind of easy to execute, of course, when you're trying to make a course. Like my course also took me good 2 months. It was the first time ever that I decided to do the course, and then I love doing graphics, and I love putting things in there which explain stuff visually, because
Mm-hmm.
I remember faster, like if I can have visual references to, let's say, the fretboard, the way the notes are placed. So what I try to execute with that was that um, if I'm seeing something on the fingerboard and I try to explain my vision, it's taking longer in a way that it's hard for me to just show a line with my hand. Sometimes it works for some people, but I thought
Yeah.
it's a very foolproof system. Like if I show that, look at the fretboard, this is F sharp, this is F sharp, this is C sharp, C sharp. It's just a chain that is continuing in a
Yeah.
diagonal
Yeah.
way.
I
So
get it.
so I started choosing what kind of infographics. Like earlier, I used to. There was this time I put out a basic music theory course. It took a while to animate every note on the fretboard. It shows a fretboard on the left. I press a note, it kind of swells up. Now that's not automatic. I have to do every note I play in the video manually. I have to swell it
Yeah.
up. I have to make sure
Yeah.
things are aligned, and it's a lot
That's
of
right.
work. I mean, when I
It
thought
is.
it's going to be easy, it's not easy. Then I realized that, of course, the same thing, that people want to see what's going on. So it's not that I don't want to do it or I won't do it later on,
Yeah.
but I want to make it as easy as possible for me also, and for the other person to understand also that this can happen. You know, this can be done just by looking at the fingerboard. Sometimes I face or I receive these comments that I can't understand what you're playing, because
Mm.
what happens is, in bass sometimes you're moving your fingers in a way that it is visually disorienting, or it's not understandable. So
Right.
that was the reason I started putting the fretboard on the side, that infographics start lighting up. But
So you're absolute. Sorry to interrupt you,
yeah,
Sumit,
yeah,
but
please,
you're
please.
absolutely right. Yeah. At the end of the day, the student, you're trying to make the job of a student easier, right? So you're trying to ensure that the understanding comes ठीक तरह से उसको problem नहीं हो रही दिक्कत नहीं हो रही. So that is the right thing to do.
Hmm.
But my point is that I also have a lot of infographics in my courses,
Hmm.
but I'm not really focusing on the other stuff. So if there is a bottle in one corner, so ठीक
That's
है
right.
गलती होगी. No, nobody cares about that. So I don't really need to edit that out.
Same here.
I'm just saying that I'm just trying to cut those things
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. Same.
Uh,
It happened to me towards the end of the course when I was recording. That bunch of the videos, they have a bottle of water lying around,
yeah,
and I realized that people are very focused on the content. They really
that's
care about, are they learning something, are they receiving something new,
absolutely.
and then there are uh, if you just try to be there on YouTube to showcase something, it works. Yes, it puts people in awe, but then you also have to think that if you're being present on YouTube, or if you're building a course, building it with the intent of what can I do for you, and
That's
where
true.
can I take you if you see this video? Do I take you anywhere? Like as a
Yeah,
player,
that's right.
there's so much you can do, so much you can tell, so much you can execute, but you have to also keep thinking, who are you doing this video for? And then accordingly you decide
Absolutely.
your
Absolutely.
beginner's course, your intermediate course, and you just build from there. So are your courses doing
Yeah.
all right in terms of sales? Are they do the
They're
sales
doing.
drop? Do they peak sometimes? What happens after releasing a course? When you released it, was it a good release?
Yeah. It is. It is. So I'll tell you what. I'll just add one more thing here,
Yeah.
and that is the fact that my with my courses, it's not a one-way street. So it's not just me giving them a course and that's it. So when somebody buys a course, they also get access to a private Facebook group of mine. So all of my courses have an individual private Facebook
You're right.
group, and once they get access, they can post their doubts and all. So I always ensure that I keep answering the questions, and there's a little bit of, so it's like a forum. So I knew that, especially with the beginners, because with beginners, you need to ensure that they're doing the right things. शुरू शुरू में गलतियां हो सकती है ना, so that's one way in which I ensure that they, so I ask them to post videos, and so that I can actually check the technique and all. So I'm just saying that it's, so that thing is also helping me to a certain extent, and I'm not very sure if you're doing this with your courses, but maybe you can actually do that as
I
well.
have a comment section under the video itself right now in the
Okay.
course, which I opened recently. It wasn't open earlier. So if there's a
Okay.
discussion anybody wants to have, they can just write. If they don't understand something
Fantastic.
about the
Yeah, yeah,
specific video and they write anything under that, then I get a like notification about it that somebody has asked you this, so I can reply to them there. However, it
right,
hasn't
right.
happened yet. Like nobody has
It will,
put
it
up.
will. Once your course, once your course picks up, which I'm very sure it will,
Mm.
since I know how good a player and how good a bass player and a teacher you are, I'm very sure that
Thank you,
it'll
man.
it'll happen. Yeah. So, anyways, So, sorry, what was your question again?
I was asking how well your course has been doing
Hmm.
since you released it. I was asking how well it did when you released first, and then
Yeah, yeah.
does it peak sometimes? Does it drop? Is it selling constantly? What is it like?
Right. So whenever you launch a course, there's obviously a little bit of a buzz going on,
Hmm.
right? So I don't do, I haven't really started doing any marketing for my courses
Hmm.
yet. So I'm planning to run Facebook ads later,
Right.
but not right now. So as of now, it's 100% organic. So I just talk about my courses in my video. So in all of my, so जैसे मेरा दिल बेचारा का lesson है. So I know people will be watching that video because it's a new song, right? So but before I get into the lesson, I just quickly drop in like a 5 second thing wherein I just remind them that I have courses. So you can click on those links and you can check out my courses. I just say that in the very beginning.
Hmm.
So when I launch a course, the first month is usually pretty good. So first month may I kind of meet expectations, and then gradually it tapers. Okay. So for example, my theory course, which I launched in February, month one was fantastic, and month two, three onwards, it's taken a slight dip.
Right.
Same goes for my the other, so the stage one course, which I just made a paid course, so it's doing decent, but I know that it'll kind of taper up in the forthcoming months, and then that's when I'll come up with newer ways just to ensure that it's the recall is there.
Hmm.
So so that could be Facebook marketing, it could be affiliates, and I'm thinking of certain
Right.
things.
I just want you to pause for a second. I'm going to dial you again because there's a lag in the audio and video on Skype. So
Mm.
once we reconnect, it
Okay,
should come into action. I'll just tell people to
no
hold on
worries.
for 3 seconds. So I'm just hanging up for 3 seconds, then we are back.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Guys, please stay online. I'm just fixing this audio video lag. Adit, you're back. Great. Just a second. I'm pulling you into the software. Adit Kundra. One second.
So everybody who was on that live stream, they still get to see it on the same URL, or is it going to be a different one?
It's the same URL forever until we die or YouTube shuts down.
Oh, this is so cool, यार. मैं
So
जब
it's
अपने
huh.
मैं जब अपनी live stream कर रहा था, so what I do is, see, again, I'm really challenged when it comes to technology.
Huh.
So I want my live stream to be through the phone because the phone has a better camera as compared to my laptop.
Right.
So मैं phone पे अपना live stream set करता हूँ कि this is every Sunday, this is when the live stream is going to be. And जब मेरा live stream start होना था ना, तो I need to again log in through the phone because now I can't really connect through the laptop.
Right.
Are you getting what I'm saying? So मैंने schedule किया मेरा live stream. So I now have to shoot it through the thing phone only. So मैंने वो कर दिया and people joined in for the live stream, and then when they joined, I realized कि it was actually on a portrait mode instead of landscape. So
Huh.
मैं ऐसे दिख रहा था सबको. And I'm like, shit यार, ये क्या हो गया? तो मैंने अपना live stream बंद करा.
हाँ
I switched off my live stream and then I started a new live stream. So
हाँ.
now all those guys who were there on the previous one, they don't know that अब दूसरी जगह पे start हो रहा है.
Oh.
So I don't really understand all this here, which is why I asked you कि are the
I
people in the same?
yeah, I'll be happy to help you out with all this. It's the problem with all this is it's not laid out very clearly in the
Hmm.
software itself.
Hmm.
So you have to make your share of mistakes. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning
Yeah, yeah,
when I was interviewing Sheldon, for example. But then it gets better. Like we are on the 14th podcast now,
right.
and then it just gets easier and easier every time you have to do it.
I'm sure.
So I wanted to ask you one thing, which was how much are you? We talked about the course, that the course sells and it brings you revenue on and off. And then there is this affiliate marketing, like with Amazon, we have affiliate marketing where
Yeah.
if a product is sold via the link that you put in the description, we get a small like 3%, 4% kind of a profit from the sale, which
That's
doesn't
true.
affect the price of the product, of course. But are
Absolutely.
you able to leverage any of that as your subscriber base is increasing? Do you get enough revenue from Amazon affiliate marketing?
Amazon is very less here. Amazon is very less. I mean, I don't even look at my Amazon affiliate earnings, honestly. But I'll tell you that so YouTube has done a couple of things which have made the life of a content creator a lot better as compared to what it was earlier. So you understand how YouTube works, right? So YouTube is like an ad revenue model.
Right.
So once your channel gets monetized, which is after I think 1,000 subscribers and a few 4,000
4,000 hours. Yeah.
4,000 what is when you can actually place ads.
Right.
And if your video is more than 8 minutes, then you get to select where you want to place those ads. So you get the option to select mid-roll ads, as they call it. But any video gets an ad in the very beginning. And if a viewer either watches 30 seconds of the ad, so if it's a skippable ad and the viewer watches 30 seconds is when it's considered as a view. Or if it's
Right.
a non-skippable ad, then the viewer has to watch it. So every time that happens is when YouTube gives a small portion of the earnings to the content creator.
Do you put mid-roll ads, non-skippable ads? Do you put that by
Of
yourself when
course.
you're putting up content? You do
Yeah,
that.
so I do that, but we don't get so a content creator does not get so there's no ability to decide whether it's going to be a skippable or a non-skippable ad. However, the placement is something that you can impact. So you can decide that this is where I want to place the ad. So
Right.
if the video is again, if it's more than 8 minutes, it used to be 10 minutes earlier, but I think recently they've started the 8 minute thing.
Yeah, they
So
started 8 minutes, so you can kind of say on the YouTube video, मिलते हैं एक छोटे से break के बाद same जगह same time, then the break
it,
comes. Like,
yeah, इतना नहीं होता यार.
just like that
You
filmy,
can,
that
yeah, yeah,
Saregama kind of a thing.
I know, but you can do that, no? Because with your podcast, you can actually have a timer which says 8 minutes हो गए या 9 minutes हो गए, and then you can say, okay, fine, I'll
Yeah,
see you
but for
sometime.
me, the thing is that I don't select the mid-roll ads because if I am watching something and an ad rolls in, especially when it's a podcast, for example, I don't know if they're doing it without letting me know right now. I
They
think they
won't.
are. They
No, they
won't do it,
won't.
right?
They won't do that.
So
They
I
won't.
don't want it to play mid-roll. Let it play in the beginning. Let it play in
Mm.
the end. That's
Yeah, yeah.
fine. But
Mm-hmm.
in the middle, if I'm listening to a podcast, sometimes you're in this flow of a conversation trying to understand something, and then suddenly, क्या आपने कभी आलू के साथ में ये chips खाए? Then you don't want to
Yeah.
hear all that
What
nonsense.
what ad is that, man? I
I
want to
mean,
watch
I'm
that
just
ad.
making shit up. I'm
I
just
got it.
just making
Got it.
shit
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I got that.
So I'm saying that as an experience,
Yeah.
it can get a little interfering sometimes.
I
But
totally get it.
yeah. So you were saying about the YouTube ad
So
revenue
that's
model
so that's
and
that's the
affiliate
model, right?
marketing.
So that's the model. That's how you make money.
Hmm.
However, there are a lot of factors which impact your earnings because a lot of people are of the assumption that YouTubers make a lot of money. So people might be thinking that I have 100,000 subscribers, I make a lot of money as well. That's what they think. But here those factors come into play. So what are those factors? Step one, where is your audience? So
Hmm.
my audience is primarily in India, right? I don't
Right.
really have a first world audience, right? So in India, data is available, and so at the end of the day, a company will invest. So companies need to bid on certain ad spots.
Yeah.
So in India, anyways, the spend, the ad spend is a lot lesser than if let's say you have and so my video, if viewed in India, will get me a lot lesser money, a lot lesser earning than if somebody watches it in US because there he's getting US ads and those US companies are investing a lot more. They're bidding a
Right.
lot more. So the country of your audience is step point number one. Then second thing is category. So categories like on finance. Finance makes a lot more money. Online business,
Hmm.
passive streams of income. These are the categories which make a lot more money as compared to music. So we're anyway screwed there.
Hmm.
So music में कम होएगा. Then उससे भी नीचे उसके बाद भी problem क्या होती है कि my content, for example, 99% of my content is just songs,
Right.
right? So
And they keep the
whenever
revenue, all of it.
yeah, so they don't keep the revenue all of it, but what happens is every time you upload a cover,
Hmm.
so you can get a copyright strike. Now it can be an automatic copyright strike, or it can be a manual.
Right.
So automatic में क्या होता है? So मेरे songs में क्या होता है? I actually use the original song as well. So I play that in the background and then I play over that.
Right.
Because I'm playing the entire song, right? So I want to do the entire song.
So
I just
does
don't
it
want.
help to keep the song at a certain volume for the YouTube algorithm to not read it right away? Of course,
Yeah, yeah, it
people will
does.
sign. It does?
It does.
Okay.
It does. So if you keep it really low, then the algorithm won't be able to detect that.
Yeah.
But I keep it at a decent pop. पर मेरे गानों में मेरे वीडियोस में कॉपीराइट बहुत आती है. मैं मतलब I just welcome it with open arms now.
That's a claim, guys. I mean, it's the strike is different, right?
Yeah. No. So okay. So that's a claim. So that's not a. So it doesn't mean that your channel standing goes down. So
Yeah.
I have around 360 videos in my channel. Out of those 360 videos, about 320 will be cover songs, and out of those 320, I think around 260 or 50 have those copyright claims.
Hmm.
It's not a strike. My channel still is in extremely good standing. Knock on wood. Okay, so it's different from a copyright strike, which is like a claim wherein you've done something wrong with your channel and YouTube gives you three chances. I think ऐसे कुछ होता है, something of that sort. Okay, so it's a copyright claim. The copyright claim essentially. So I'm talking about manual and automatic, right? So I'll come to manual later. But automatic is you upload a song and the YouTube algorithm detects that it has a clipping,
Yeah.
which is ठीक है. तो उसके बाद क्या होता है? उसके बाद there are two things. Either it's a shared revenue, or the producer company gets the entire 100% of the revenue.
Right.
Right. So if let's say you make $5 out of that video, $5 in if it's 100%, so the producer company T Series or Z Music gets 100%. If it's shared, then you get a little chunk.
Right.
So just to give you a perspective,
How do they decide that this video can be revenue sharing? It's just the company's way of working.
I have no idea, man. I have never.
Like this morning, Samar Puri, Sanam's guitar player, Sanam and Samar.
Okay.
So Samar, they're neighbors actually. So I was just doing my morning run in the morning here downstairs, and me and Samar we were talking, and he was talking about how they are also a cover channel, right? So lots of subscribers, millions and millions of subscribers.
Yeah.
But
the
again,
son of the band.
yeah, the
Band is what
band,
you mean.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So now he was saying that all of it, like almost for all the videos, the 100% amount of revenue that they are generating. Of course, they made a version of it. They've used the song and everything, but it's like a lot of the songs is just because you start imagining that hey, it's one of the biggest channels of the country, so a lot of revenue is coming in. But I was just talking to him, and he was mentioning like how companies actually take 100% of the revenue coming from those songs, and they just keep it with them. And I don't know what the way around is. Of course, sometimes revenue sharing is done just by the company, because there are one or two songs I put up long back, and on one or two of them it says revenue sharing, and on the others it's like it's been cleaned by somebody, so they're taking all the money.
So I unfortunately don't know how the sharing thing comes into picture and how the other one does, but I'll give you an example. So I uploaded a song a couple of days back, and Ikwaria ek song hai. So that song did pretty well. So and it was on a revenue sharing model, right? So it was not the 100% thing. So the last I checked, I was actually on 25,000 views on that particular video. And for those 25,000 views, how much money do you think did I make for those 25,000? Just take a guess.
My guessing is very bad with this. You just keep talking.
Okay, so I made about $30 with that.
This is 2,500 views.
25,000.
25,000 views.
25,000 views. I made 30 rupees, Indian rupees, not 30 US dollars. Okay.
Yeah.
So I made 30 rupees, and that's the revenue shared model. So, anyway, so I was telling you about the copyright claim. So that's how it happens. And then there is a manual claim as well. So manual में क्या होता है? There is this douchebag who's actually sitting in an office, and his job is to look for songs. So that's what he does. He
Did you
comes to
see
office.
did you see Rick Beato's video about it where he talks
No, I
about
haven't.
this?
No, I have.
So
No, I
Rick
haven't.
Beato puts a lot of teaching videos and teaching
I
content.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So Rick Beato is ranting. He does these rant videos that how dumb can you be that you send somebody to just basically sit there
yeah,
and
yeah.
just figure out what song Rick Beato has played today and then just put a
This,
copyright manual
yeah,
copyright claim. He was very angry about it. That how can you
yeah.
just put people in there? So the revenue model, yes, it's not something that you can depend and rely on as a mainstream income. But I feel that YouTube has a utility in building trust. Like when you put up a cover, you
Absolutely,
explain it. It makes it
absolutely,
easier for people to understand and trust that your course will have something that is going to help you.
absolutely, absolutely.
So
I
that
totally.
is the kind of trust you can earn from YouTube is much more valuable than earning money, I feel.
Totally, man, totally. And you know what? I'm not really pissed here.
Huh.
I'm not pissed that 90% of my earnings, supposed earnings, are going to some other, because I think that's the right thing to do because they're the rightful owners here.
Right.
However, does this mean that I'm losing the battle? No, I'm not, because I can do some other things which are within my span of control.
Right.
What are those things? I can ensure that I come up with newer stuff which is not really covers. So how I treat my channel currently is, I keep pumping in a lot of covers, because that is how I'm actually getting a consumer or a viewer to switch to my channel. So I'm getting them subscribed to my channel. Once they subscribe to my channel is when I can introduce videos which are guitar videos. So these
Right.
aren't really covers.
Right.
So nobody can give me a copyright claim on teaching them how to play the pentatonic scale, for example.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody can say, okay, this is a course of yours. You should be giving me a revenue on that course.
Yeah.
Nobody can say.
Yeah.
So I'm not really pissed, man. I'm pretty happy because YouTube has been very kind and generous, not in money making, but in helping me get an audience. Now I can act. Now how I choose to use that audience is totally my thing.
Right. Right. I mean, these bigger channels, of course, have it sorted, and mostly they are corporations. And then there are channels like PewDiePie is there, and there is
Yeah,
uh, Davey 504, who really,
yeah, yeah. The bass
they
player.
they are making sure they're making entertaining videos. They come
Absolutely.
kind of vaguely come under the education category, but
Yeah, yeah.
but then they are making people very excited and happy about the whole process of playing bass. Like everybody knows Davey 504, like people
Mm.
know Michael Jackson.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's so interesting that he's
That's right.
made that for himself, and he's
Yeah,
always making sure that he's not getting any copyright claims or anything. I think he's
absolutely.
got 8 million viewers right now or subscribers, and then he's building his channel around that I think
Yeah,
somebody like him is
yeah.
when you'll be having enough revenue to just
Absolutely.
just do YouTube or just do that.
Absolutely.
But recently, I think Adam Neely also hit 1 million subscribers, who's also a
Mm-hmm.
bass player.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But then it took him 10 years to reach there, and then now he's like, I can just do YouTube. But the
yeah.
biggest worry in all this is that, like for example, TikTok got banned. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody who creates content needs to realize that they have to create content which is shielded in their own walls that they have created. Like if you have a course and whatever videos you are putting up on YouTube, let's say tomorrow something happens, something is discovered, and the country decides that no more YouTube in India, for example, then
Yeah,
what are we
yeah,
going to
yeah.
do? We have to have
Absolutely.
our own stuff which is ready to go on your own website or somewhere else on the web, so
Absolutely.
that you don't take a hit. Like if you're just marketing on TikTok, for example, and TikTok shuts down tomorrow, you don't know where to go. So
Absolutely.
I was listening to Gary Vee, and he was talking about this rule that he has made called 79-21, where he invests 79% of his energy into something which is really hot. Like Instagram is hot right now in America, like really seriously. In India, I think still Facebook has a lot of value, and people are spending a lot more time on Facebook. Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
some people are, but not a lot of people. So he said that 79% of my energy is spent into building my Instagram, and then 21% of my energy goes into building everything else, which can be Twitter, it can be LinkedIn, it can be everything else, which if this collapses tomorrow, and all these bubbles they burst end of the day, right? All
Mm-hmm.
of these. YouTube
Yeah,
has
yeah.
stayed long because it has made sure that our system is for long players. That's what they've
That's
done.
right.
If
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not here to stay in a way that you have to be around 2-3 years before you start seeing money come in,
Mm, mm.
then you don't want to be here. You don't want to create any fake robots, zombies. in order to get more following, more views, more subscribers. They are very, very good with that. So
Yeah.
they've created that long game, and that has, I think that is going to be the biggest USP for them to stay here forever. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and I really encourage everybody who is creating content, then of course be present on YouTube. Like I see a lot of people just putting up content on the Facebook player, but the thing is it shows in the feed for a little bit, then it's disappeared. But when
Right.
I'm looking for somebody, if I'm looking for Adit Kundra, I'll go on YouTube and look for Adit Kundra. If I
That's
met
right.
some new musician, I'm always going to go on YouTube or on Google search and then look for it. Now, as far as I know and I understand about the internet, what I know is that internet is not looking inside social media platform that which video did Saurabh put and
Mm.
which cover was it. It's looking
Mm.
only on the internet, which it's indexing. If you put it on your website, it'll have it indexed if it's
That's right.
connected to the Google service, and it's looking on YouTube after that. So so it's critical to be present on YouTube if you're creating content, but it's also important to safeguard yourself to either keep your content with you as a backup in a physical hard drive, in a cloud platform, wherever you want to keep, that if something happens to anything tomorrow, you use the platform to build a lot of trust, you use the platform to help a lot of people.
Absolutely.
If this machinery collapses, which we are seeing that TikTok is not anymore,
Yeah.
and tomorrow Facebook might not be anymore, something else might be there. So you're spending little bit of energy in building those platforms so that you have some
Correct.
sort of know-how as to where
Yeah.
to move, and you
Yeah.
have all your content ready to give it to that next platform. So let's say
Absolutely.
Vimeo becomes the biggest consumer if something happens to YouTube tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then we switch to Vimeo with all our backup, with all our
Absolutely.
data. So the point I'm trying to make here is that thinking
Don't keep your eggs in one basket.
in one basket, and don't depend only and only on one platform to give you everything and all your business, all your revenue. It's going to give you for some time, yes, but anything can happen tomorrow. And I don't know if I discussed this with you about Instagram. I did a course
Mm.
recently on Instagram. I was studying Instagram, how it functions.
Mm-hmm.
And I was seeing how people have careers in, they basically build a lot of zombie accounts. They build bots which
Right.
are randomly showing a lot of activity on your account. So
Mm. Mm.
if my account is standing on Instagram, sitting on Instagram
Mm.
rather,
Yeah.
I can create 100 zombie accounts using other IDs, bios, everything's available online to do all
Mm.
this. And I can
Mm.
keep pumping my main account using those 100 zombie accounts. And
Mm.
I can inflate my account, I can show activity on it that Instagram promotes it, and the account will get more followers, more this and that. And then there
Mm.
are apps like likes for likes, followers for followers, and tons of these strange things which can
Mm.
actually inflate your channel. I don't know
Right.
if you can do all that in YouTube, if you can buy subscribers or you can buy views, that I know. But that's not like buying views, that's more like advertising your video so that more
Mm.
people see it.
Mm.
But my eyes were like, I was stunned. There are many more details to that, but all I'm trying to say is that when I saw Instagram, the ability that if you are a programmer or if you understand coding a little bit, the kind of stuff you can uh, make Instagram do, it's kind of unreal, and it seems it's going to implode at some point. Either they have to ban all this stuff, that
Yeah.
none of this is allowed, or they have to improve their systems to catch all this, and then kind of make things easier for the people who are trying to develop this channel organically, whatever is present
Correct.
on
Correct.
Instagram for them.
That's and I think you're absolutely right that at the end of the day, Instagram and Facebook, these are just tools in order to build social proof, right? So and a lot of guys have actually been doing this, but I think Instagram and Facebook are smart enough to know that there are some bot accounts, and I believe a couple of months back is when they had actually removed all those accounts, and they did some activity, and a lot of those accounts were removed. But I'll tell you something here. Even in YouTube, there is something that you can do. So, and it's perfectly legal.
Hmm.
And because YouTube essentially relies on watch time, so YouTube is not really so earlier YouTube used to pay you, not pay you, but if a video has a lot of views,
Yeah.
then you would automatically get recommended by YouTube. So YouTube was all about views and all, which is why people used to do all these clickbaity things and just to ensure that people click on the video. And then after that, the experience doesn't really matter. So if a viewer clicks on a video and he realizes उसमें कुछ और ही है, it doesn't really matter because click मिल गया. And YouTube was all about views. But now YouTube is after watch time. So YouTube says that we'll track how much time did the video get viewed.
Mm.
So what you can do, and that's something which I have done a couple of times as well, that once my video gets launched, because the first hour is extremely important.
Okay.
So I just open that video on multiple windows.
Right.
Because there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not using multiple fake accounts to do that. It's my own account.
Right.
But I'm just in a way, and honestly doesn't even matter. So my mom keeps telling me कि मैंने तुम्हारा video लगाया पूरा देखा. I'm like, Mama, आपका एक देखने से कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. But I'm just saying कि what I do is I just open a lot of videos,
Right.
lot of windows with the same video, just to ensure that in the first 1 hour, which is extremely critical, the watch time just increases a little bit. It won't really impact that much, but maybe for smaller channels, that's something that they can do, and it's a totally legitimate way to do that.
Right.
You're just increasing watch time because actually watch time is increasing, right? So I'm just saying this because you said कि YouTube में हो सकता है कि नहीं हो सकता. So yes, there are things that you can do the right way.
Yeah, I see some bots replying to the videos. That I can see for sure. That suddenly you'll get a comment. The moment you put the video up, there's a bot that will reply nice, or it'll say something weird. Sometimes it's spam. Hot dating online. Click here.
Yeah. But I don't know, for some reason I don't get those messages on YouTube यार. मेरे को Instagram में बहुत मिलते हैं वो. I get
हाँ.
those on Instagram because YouTube में maybe I just put some filter. I don't know if I've done that.
No,
but
I've done it too. The thing is that they'll remove it after it's posted, but it
Okay.
gets posted. Like YouTube reads it faster. They can read
Yeah.
and say, okay, this is fake stuff. It has
Yeah.
happened too fast. It doesn't look humanly. Whatever their system is, they'll do the track checking and then they'll remove it. So
Yeah.
I dig that about YouTube. Like it's fantastic that way. I mean, at least to my love for it, I'm a big fan. I don't know.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. And you know what? Sort of again going back to the discussion where we started off from, which is the YouTube model. And I'm also saying this because you talked about YouTube evolving and being a much better platform as compared to the others. I think YouTube has done a lot of things which are trying to make the life of a content creator a lot simpler and a
Right.
lot better financially. So there is, of course, the revenue model, right? So you barely make any money through the revenue model. But YouTube has introduced some other things. So for example, you just got a super chat for $200, right? So this is one thing. This is an ability that comes once you do a live stream or जो भी होता है. So your viewers can actually contribute. They can actually support through these super chat stickers, whatever you call them.
Right.
Then there's some other things as well. So I don't know if you've heard of this platform or not, but it's called Patreon.
Yeah, I know about Patreon.
You know what Patreon, right? So basically, content creators realize that yes, I'm getting a following through YouTube, but I'm not really making any money. So why not just come up with a subscription? So YouTube is ad revenue model. Why not just do a subscription model wherein, as a content creator, I will give you content if you subscribe to my channel. So subscription comes with a price. So that's how Patreon works. And YouTube realized that content creators are not happy and they're actually moving to other platforms. So they introduced this service within YouTube.
Yeah.
So now what happens is that if your channel has more than 30,000 subscribers, if my memory serves me well,
I don't
30,000.
think it's 30,000. You're talking about that join service. That
Join
they have?
button, join button, yeah. It's not 30,000. I could be wrong then. I don't know.
It's just that there's some rules, no? YouTube breaks for itself. There are
Okay.
rules written, but then they have some other method going on. Like my channel,
Okay.
it doesn't have a huge number.
Yeah.
But what it has for sure is a consistent amount of videos going out, a consistent
Yeah.
amount of views going out, and there's no spam in it. It's a clean
That's
channel.
right. That's right.
So they have been unlocking these services for some reason. And when
Oh,
I go
fantastic.
online and try to figure out what is it that you're allowed to get the join button, and then it said you need 10,000 subscribers, you need this, you need that, and then one day suddenly I got a notification that you are allowed to have the join button, and so people can basically telling people that they can subscribe to the channel and have you can pay a little bit of money every month from
Yeah.
29 rupees. That's what it starts at, right?
I don't know, man. I don't remember those numbers, but I'm just saying that that's another way in which YouTube has tried to integrate the subscription model within their service.
Right.
So now your viewers can actually join your channel and maybe, a very nominal amount and
So I
support you.
was considering that I should turn that button on. Like it's
Yeah.
available for me to turn on. I
Okay.
even tried to configure it that
Hmm.
people can contribute and I can provide them something different
Yeah.
from the regular content.
Yeah. Yeah.
I While I was in the process, I realized that this is a huge commitment for me
Right.
in a way that if I'm not able to deliver something I promise, I feel bad about it. Very,
That's
very bad.
true. That's right. That's
And
right.
especially when you're asking for money and not able to deliver. So I stopped myself from doing it because I want to be really, really sure that once if I call myself I'm a YouTuber day in and day out,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
then maybe it'll be easier for me to go to that join button and click it and then say that I'm putting out one video only for members every month or every week, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it brought a lot of questions to my head that
Mm.
yes, I have the power to tell people, and I know there are a lot of people who will say yes to it that we are good. We're going to
Mm.
put 160 rupees, 200 rupees, 300 rupees a month in your
Yeah.
account
Yeah. Yeah.
for something special that you deliver every week or every
That's
2 weeks, even if
that's
it is
right.
just a question answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes life doesn't allow you to stay on your game or top level all the time. And if
That's
something
right.
goes up or down, I worry about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
worry about the commitment. But if for people who are on, I think it's really a good revenue model. So YouTube, if you're getting 100 rupees from this subscription service that YouTube has started for content creators, it's keeping 70% of it, right? So
No. No. It's
70
keeping
rupees,
30%
30%.
is what they
Yeah.
keep. Yeah.
So 30% goes to YouTube and 70% comes to you. So 70 rupees will come to you. So if you have
That's
a
right.
subscriber base of 1,000 people who subscribe to your channel through the join button, then you'll make 70,000 rupees a month from YouTube, which is, I think, a decent amount to survive
Which
for
is which
anybody
is which
being
is
a
pretty
beginner.
good. Which is pretty good if you can actually reach that hit rate. But I'll tell you something, sort of, again, coming to your point about not being sure whether you'll be able to deliver if people are contributing. You decide what you want to give them, right? So if you're keeping like a slab of 20 rupees,
Right,
you don't really need to say that I'll be giving you a video every week or a video every month. You can say
right.
something like, I've seen a lot of creators do this as well. I mean, I saw this on Patreon. $1 a month. Thank you for supporting me. That's it. So some people actually want to support you as well. So I'm just laying it out to you
That's a
that,
good idea, man. I
yeah. So
mean,
you
I would love to because
because you're
uh,
already uploading a lot of quality content on your channel, right? So this
right.
is just one way for them to support you.
I think I should put it out like that. That's a very
Yeah,
good
do that.
advice.
Do that. Do that.
I should, and
So
people who
so
want to support it'll be really nice.
so currently, and people should, and that's something which I've been telling. So after I uploaded that video, no, the recent video, that's when I've been telling people as well that don't just donate to me, just support all the content creators because those guys have been helping you out, right? So
Right.
and the situation unfortunately is the fact that we don't really make a lot of money through this particular medium. So if you have the resources to support, then you should do that with all the content creators. You should do that to all of them.
Right. Because see, like when I built the course and everything, I did invest a lot into it in terms of especially finances because I had to buy website services and all that in order to execute the course first of all, and then of course
Yeah,
deliver
yeah,
it. Like I have to pay a monthly fee to Thinkific, for example, for the
yeah, yeah.
subscription I have,
I do that as well.
on which so on which the service is running, because
Yeah,
otherwise the courses won't run. But my course is a one time sale, which basically means that if it sells this month and it doesn't sell next month, then it might be hard to feed it revenue. So maybe I have to think of
correct,
a
correct.
different revenue model. And
That's right.
your advice of having to activate the join button in terms of activating support so that
Yeah,
people can contribute who want to contribute will be something. I think it's something I can think about definitely after
yeah. So currently, what I have three slabs on my join button.
how
My first slab is I think 50 rupees, and for 50 rupees, I actually give them the song chords. So
right.
they can actually mail me and tell me that this particular song we need the chords. So I'll just immediately find out the right chords and mail them the
Hey,
PDF.
somebody's been writing on the chat about I think his name is Akhil Jamatkar.
Hmm.
He's saying that there's some fees he paid and there's some a course that he was about to get, but it hasn't reached him. So maybe I'll send you this guy's name later on after the
Yeah,
conversation
that's
is
all
done.
right. That's all
So
right.
you can look into this. So I thought I'll
So
just
was this addressed to me?
yeah, it's addressed.
So Yeah. So probably,
Wait. It might be. Let me. Is it my course or your course? I'll talk to this
yeah,
guy
that's
first, and
so
then.
it could be my course, but the thing is, so yeah, that's because they need to send me an email. So if they've transferred, so a lot of people what they do is they have my Paytm number, so they just send me the money on that account, and then they expect me to just give them the course, or they expect that the videos will get unlocked on YouTube because that's not how it happens, right? So they need to send me an email, and then I will actually register them on the Thinkific platform and give them the course.
Yeah.
So that's what they need to do.
So I think he's addressing your course because he's specifically asking about the
Got it.
30 days
Got
guitar course.
Yeah, so that's my course.
So,
So
guys, whoever is listening right now, I actually want to share that these courses they run on a platform called Thinkific, and Thinkific is basically a framework which is very amazing. It's a Canadian company based in Vancouver, and they basically allow us to post and create courses. It's a framework where, as I said, you can post your videos, write whatever you want to write on it, and if you're looking to build a course, it's a good place. And the first tier is free, and then if you have more than certain number of courses, you have to pay them a certain amount of money to be able to post your courses. So everything runs through that. So, and plus it's a safe platform, so even if you're making a payment, don't worry about it. It's integrated with very high quality uh, payment aggregators like Stripe and PayPal, so you don't have to worry that there's going to be any problem with it.
hey,
So
Saurabh, I'm just cutting you for a minute.
yeah,
Why don't you just continue with the Thinkific thing? I'll just take a bio break, man. I've had a lot of water.
no problem.
Yeah.
So talking about Thinkific, it's a framework basically where I'm putting up my courses, where Adit has put up his courses, and Adit's website I saw where it's been built and all. So if you go to thinkific.com and you're planning to build a course and you're planning to put it out there, it's a good place to create your course. One problem that I've faced on it is that it takes payments via credit cards, and because in our country we have, I think we have 50 million credit cards and we have about 900 million debit cards, something like that. The ratio is very different. So if you build it on that platform, it's hard to receive payments sometimes in using our Indian payment methods, which is Paytm, GPay, and all that. There is a way around it. If you're planning to build a course and put it out there for people to consume, then just write to me. I'll help you out as to how to build that particular payment system and integrate into that website. It's possible to do that. The other thing is, even if you don't want to pay Thinkific in the beginning, I think they allow you to put up one or two courses with their branding and everything around it for free. So that's a good thing to do. It's a good practice also, even if you're not selling a course, but in this time, if you're a teacher, educator, and you're planning to go all online, it's a good way to explore how things work. I tried a couple of Indian websites also in order to execute the course, and it was very difficult. First of all, they are still in process, not that they are bad, but they're still in process to become stable. They're still in the process to become very good. So I can't comment on those websites yet as to how well the Indian frameworks are working, but at the moment Thinkific is doing very well. The only problem there is the payment integration, which I can help you with. If you need help, you can message me on Instagram at saurabh.base. And Adit is back. Hey man.
So that is one angle that I need to still figure out, which is the non-credit card, non-PayPal payments. So how those are happening is that those guys actually whoever's interested, they credit the amount in my account or in my Paytm, and then I need to manually enroll them into the course. So that's probably what happened with this dude as well, Akhil, that he's just sent the money to Paytm without letting me know.
Right.
And so the thing is that my course video, but stage one course is still there on YouTube, but it's just that about 40 videos are now private. So the expectation of certain people is the fact that if you pay, automatically they'll be able to view the videos, and that's where the confusion happens. So they need to, if they've made the payment, then they need to send me an email, and then I'll register them on the course platform, and that's how they get access.
So I think maybe I hope Akhil
Yeah.
Jamatkar. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Is listening, and Akhil will. I think this should get sorted later on.
Yeah.
So I told you, I think last time when we were talking over phone, that I have this automated
Zap.
yeah
Yeah.
Zapier. Yeah, you
I
create
need
a
I need
Zap.
I need to do that, man. I need to do that.
So I'll help you out with that. That's not a problem. Anyway, so how many more courses do you plan to build? You plan to do this on building courses and building YouTube videos simultaneously?
Yeah, so YouTube is serving a different purpose. YouTube is again the the awareness and equity is what YouTube is helping me with of my brand name.
Hmm.
And of course the courses is where I think I'll be supporting myself. The courses itself won't really be a full-on stream of income, but it's just one of the see because as entrepreneurs, since we are entrepreneurs, we need to figure out multiple streams of income, right? So I think courses is going to be a big chunk of that.
Right.
That's what the plan is, and I of course I plan to come up with an intermediate course as well, a few intermediate courses and a few advanced courses, and I've also started thinking about a jazz course as well. So yeah,
That sounds good, man. So
yeah,
this has been very helpful. There are many things I want to talk to you about, but I think we should keep it like this. We should leave some stuff for later on.
absolutely.
And the other issue I face is the battery of my camera dies in 2 hours, so I don't want it to go blip and then we have
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
So, man, thanks for coming on board on this, and we'll stay in touch. And
Let's do that.
I'll keep in touch with you, and I hope you all the best for all the courses that you're about to put out.
Thank you
And
so much, man.
I really hope people get some ideas and value out of this as to how they can have their own thing running up and running, and how they can build something that's viable online, and how much time it takes actually to be at it. I mean, I'm also kind of new to this. I've just released my first course, and I plan to build more and see where it goes from here. But a lot of work, yes, but it's very rewarding also. And again, it comes down to that you can't just be on YouTube to earn money. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It
Yeah,
just
it does.
doesn't work. You have to help people out.
Thanks. Thanks a lot, Saurabh. It was an absolute pleasure being on your podcast. Thanks again.
Thanks.
Let's stay in touch for
Yes,
sure.
I'll hang up the call now. Bye bye.
Yeah. All
Take care,
right.
man.
See you guys. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you, Adit. Guys, thank you for coming to the podcast, watching the podcast.